The Donnelly household of chaos. Paul Donnelly had short black hair that looked exactly like the fuzzy top of a tiny microphone. He also had an unstoppable habit, scratching his flaky legs. Every scratch sent a little cloud of flakes floating off like weird, sparkly snow. His feet, yellow. No one really knew why. No one asked. Paul didn't like his younger brother, Gary. In fact, every time Gary walked into the room, Paul didn't say hello. He didn't smile. He didn't even glare. He threw hot, boiled potatoes. "Paul, stop it!" Gary would scream, dodging a steaming potato like it was a missile. And without fail, Gary would burst into tears every single time. That's when their mom, Jeanette, entered like a furious tornado with slippers for ammunition. "This is cheesing me off, boys," she shouted, hurling slippers at the walls, the ceiling, the couch, the windows, basically everywhere except the actual children. Thwack! Bonk! Thud! Slippers bounced around the house like boomerangs on a sugar high. Then she'd grab Paul by the shirt collar like a supermarket bag and march him to his room. "You stay in here, mister." But Gary was not finished. He'd stomp up the stairs with full dramatic flair, burst into the room, and slam down an old tape player. Click. Then their chosen battle song blasted at full volume. "My Stinky Toe Jam." And like a weird family tradition, the moment that song played, the fight began again. Flaky legs scratching, potatoes flying, yelling, crying, slipper echoes somewhere downstairs. It was madness. It was chaos. It was the Donnelly household. And somehow, they did this nearly every day. Revenge of the Slippers. After one too many potato battles and far too many plays of Stinky Toe Jam, Jeanette Donnelly decided she needed a new strategy. A powerful strategy. A slipper-based strategy. So one Saturday morning, while the boys were asleep, she marched to every cupboard, closet, attic box, and mystery drawer in the house. She collected slippers of every kind. Fluffy slippers, ripped slippers, slippers that were shaped like rabbits, slippers no one remembered buying, slippers from 1993. By noon, she had a mountain of them. Hundreds, possibly thousands. A slipper army. She hid them everywhere like traps, behind curtains, under chairs, inside plant pots, stacked on bookshelves. The house was now weaponized. And then it happened. Paul scratched his flaky legs. Flakes rained down. Gary walked in. A potato flew. Gary cried. "Battle status, active." Gary stomped to the stereo. Click. My Stinky Toe Jam blasted through the house. The boys charged at each other, and that was the moment Jeanette snapped. Her eyes narrowed. Her slippers sensed the chaos. And the revenge of the slippers began. With unbelievable speed, Jeanette launched slippers in every direction like she was firing a giant fluffy cannon. Whap! Flump! Thunk! Slippers flew across the room, bouncing off walls, curtains, lamps, ceilings, tables, the dog, the fridge, and everything else that didn't move fast enough. And she shouted random, angry words as she hurled them. Flannel! Thwap! Butter! Bonk! Onion gravy! And smack! The boys froze. Not because they were scared, but because the scene was complete, unstoppable, slipper-filled nonsense. There were slippers hanging from ceiling fans. Slippers stuck to picture frames. Slippers in bowls of fruit. Jeanette stood in the middle of the chaos, breathing like a warrior who had just defended her kingdom. Finally, she pointed one last slipper dramatically at the boys and said, "If you two don't stop fighting, I'll start throwing the boots." Silence. No music. No potatoes. Even Paul and Gary knew boots were serious. And from that day forward, whenever the boys even thought about fighting, they both flinched at the sound of a slipper sliding across the floor. Because in the Donnelly household, the Slippers always remembered.